What's up, little gamers? Today I'm going to show you how to save your password in RuneLite. You are going to have to use a modified version of the RuneLite client because this is a feature that the official RuneLite devs have stated multiple times they are not interested in adding. So we had to fork the project to do this. I'm going to run you through every change that has been made to it. It's very minor, but the download link is in the description. It's always going to be up to date with the latest version of RuneLite, and it's only going to have these modifications to it, these easy ones that are easy to understand, no sketchy business going on. And I'm going to also show you how you can verify that it's the changes that are being shown are the changes that are actually in the download client. So if you're interested in installing it, the download link is in the description, but I'm just going to run you through the changes so that you can understand what's going on. So we're extending the built-in login screen plugin that's in RuneLite. It's the same one that lets you paste your password in. We're just adding one new config item to it. It's going to be a checkbox named password. We just use that to listen for when to prompt to put in your password for the first time. We have a mouse listener. This mouse listener only returns one extra thing. Like all of these return mouse events, those are just like a pass. They don't do anything. But when we do a mouse clicked, this is for on the login screen only, it will fill your password. We'll get into that below. That's for when you're in the username and password field. If you click to exit that, it automatically clears your password, and there's no other way to listen for that other than, I think, just mouse clicks. So that's how we're making sure that if you click cancel out of the login screen, your password's still filled when you click it again. These are the main changes that actually do something. So these includes up here where we're importing some Java utilities and the UI client UI. These are just to enable the functionality that's below, so don't worry about those. We add a couple tags to the plugin so that you can search for login, password, auto login, just when you're searching through the plugins to be able to find it easier. And then here's the actual changes. So we have a passwd file, which is stored in your user home directory inside of .runelite.password_d. This .runelite folder is where your screenshots and things are saved already, so we're just putting a file in there. Your password is not saved to your RuneLite config chain. If you have your RuneLite plugins or you have the RuneLite account plugin logged in, you can sync your settings across multiple computers. This is not able to be used like that. You can still use the account functionality, the account plugin in RuneLite, but your password is only going to be saved on the local computer that you typed it in on. It's not synced across your accounts. So we have the inject mouse manager for using that mouse listener that we had, and then this login screen mouse listener is that file that we showed above. Password pop-up, this is the dialog box that's going to pop up to prompt you to enter your password. And it's going to run the set password once you hit the save button. And then on startup, we also apply password, not just apply username. And we start the event listeners. There's already the event listener for key commands on the login screen for control paste. So that's what this is added to for the event listeners. Start event listeners, we start the key manager, which is for control V, and the mouse manager, which is for clicks. And then end event listeners. Once you're done logging in, the key manager and mouse manager are both unmapped. Set password, we read from the, we write your password to the password file, and we just log right here and apply the password. Remove password, if you uncheck the box, it's going to delete the password file. Fill password, applies the password to the username field. Get password just reads it from the file. Then the only other thing down here on config change, when you click the button that we added, the one UI element that we added, it will pop up the password pop-up, or if you deselect it, it will remove your password. It will delete the password file, I guess. On game startup, we start the event listeners, apply password, and then apply password is just if the game state is at the login screen and you have your password configured and your password's not nothing, then we fill your password. That's it. So how does it work? Let's just pop her up. Here's RuneLite. There's my password auto filled in. I'll just show you from start to finish. So if we go login screen or password, as we saw, we have a password button right here. If I deselect this, I don't have a password saved anymore. If I click it again, I get this little prompt. This is where you have to paste your password in. I just go here to my password manager, copy it to my clipboard, click save. It'll auto log me in. Chopping some willows at Draenor. So we'll just close this and show you that it does save it still. So launch them back up. Existing user, it's already auto-filled for me, and then I can just log in. Okay. The way that we can verify that these changes, the changes that are on the GitHub, are the only changes that are in the client is we're going to use GitHub build actions, which is pretty cool that you can do stuff like this. So I'm not building the jar file. GitHub is building the jar file. So they only have, like, the changes that are on the GitHub are the changes that are being built. So there's no funny business going on where you don't push the changes that are malicious to the GitHub and you rebuild the jar. The jar is being built from the source that is directly on GitHub by GitHub. So we have here inside of the build function, we have it hash RuneLite jar. So here's the 4A6087. And then we upload the build artifact, which is runelite.jar. This is just the big, long, compiling everything. But these are the two things that you care about. This SHA-256 hash right here, and runelite.jar is uploaded as an artifact. So from the build, we get this runelite.jar, which has this checksum, 4A6087, and whenever a new change is pushed to the GitHub, it will automatically rebuild the jar. So if we go here, we have two releases, 4A6087, same hash here. Obviously this is just text, but if we download the jar file, we can hash that ourselves. Chrome likes to scan them for a second here. Any second now. There we go. So this one is 4. So we go RuneLite 0123 4. Not .zip, .jar. There we go. So this is the file that we just downloaded. We get the file hash 4A6087. So it is the same one, and inside of this zip file, it's the same one again. So I have some installation instructions for Windows. You can just run the jar and it'll just open RuneLite the same way that it would normally. But if you're a Windows user, you probably want shortcuts and it added to your start menu and such. You can do that with this zip file. That zip file just includes some shortcuts and a little install script that'll automatically and install a little shortcut for you. So here we'll go like this. Delete that and delete that. And then if we just run the install.bat, now we have RuneLite added back to the start menu, and RuneLite is added back to the desktop, and we can just run it from the start menu. So that's how it works. Nothing crazy going on. No tricks up my sleeve. This is about as secure as you could possibly get in terms of saving it to disk and making sure that the client is not modified beyond anything that you have public knowledge of. So if you are interested in downloading it, it's available on GitHub. If you're on Mac OS or Linux, you can just use this .jar file. It should work. I haven't tested it. Your home folder is located in the same position. Java is good at making sure that everything works cross-platform, so that's how it works. Nothing crazy going on. I was just tired of typing in my password, considering you can save your session key on your phone and your session key in the Steam client. This is just the same thing, but I wanted to use RuneLite, so it's here if you want it. I could totally understand if you're hesitant. Enabling an authenticator, I would say, is probably best practices, but if you don't want to do that, who cares? RuneLite is not going to add this because they've said that they don't want it. And if they want to add it, the code is 100% compliant with their code base, so they could just pull it, but we'll see. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope that I saved you some time. Peace out.